Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to shed light on the renovation work that took place at Al Sayyida Nafisa Mosque, which was inaugurated by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Also, the renovation and restoration work that took place in historic Cairo. And to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone with Dr. Mougib Rahman Amer, Professor of Architecture. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Well, Doctor, could you shed light on that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have gave directives to develop the historic archaeological areas? How do you see the importance of this?
First of all, Cairo has a unique touristic value as it holds a lot of heritage treasures that are varying between Pharaonic, Coptic, and Islamic. The importance of the historic Cairo development project illustrates the state's great interest in preserving Egyptian civilization by reviving the archaeological areas and restructuring them into an integrated tourist attraction. Even the title of the historical Cairo project shows the state's goals. As we know, the project is centered on restoring the old Cairo. The renovation or the reconstruction works are very important in order to regain Cairo historical values, and maybe also the rehabilitation of urban neighborhoods of significant historical areas in the old Cairo has a very strategic goal that is essential to give a rebirth to our old Cairo.
Yes, Dr. Amer, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have inaugurated Al Sayyida Nafisa Mosque following the completion of a major restoration project. Give us your insight of the state's plan to develop historical archaeological mosques and especially Al Sayyida Nafisa Mosque.
I am an architect, so I think, and as we all know, that archaeological mosques like Al Bayt Mosque, such as Sayyida Nafisa, Al Hussein, Al Imam Al Shafi'i, and other Karen major mosques are very special to us for its historical value and its role in the Egyptian collective memory. I think that tourists are also interested by those buildings in Egypt as well as in various Islamic countries. While part of the economics of some Islamic countries is based on the religious tourism, unfortunately before in Egypt there was no interest in this domain. Therefore, the state's plan to develop historical mosques such as Sayyida Nafisa, I think it comes at the right time to put such a great monument, the rest of our religious monuments on a renovative plan that preserves their values in the eyes of both Egyptian citizens and tourists. So I think that the project of Sayyida Nafisa is a great step on the road of putting the religious tourism in the right place in Egypt.
Yes, Dr. Amer, how can we take advantage of the various touristic destinations that Egypt have in order to meet the desires of the tourists that visits Egypt?
I think that Egypt can ensure that the desires of tourists are met in order to lead to a thriving tourism industry by implementing some strategies. For example, as you know, Egypt is known for its iconic and ancient sites, but there are many other attractions that we need to promote We need to promote these diverse destinations to cater to different interests and attract a wider range of tourists. We need also to improve the transportation networks, including airports, roads, and public transportation, to make it easier for tourists to reach different destinations within Egypt. In addition, of course, in addition to offering cultural tours that could focus on historical sites in order to provide opportunities for tourists to engage them into an authentic cultural experience.
Yes. Doctor, about the cultural tourism in Egypt, the importance of cultural tourism to contribute to increasing the number of tourists to the archaeological areas and museums that are open for visiting. Egypt have recently inaugurated and opened new museums and restored also and renovated several old museums also.
Yes.
So how did you see the importance of this in attracting tourism to Egypt?
Yes, I think cultural tourism plays a significant role in attracting tourists, especially to the archaeological areas and museums in Egypt. And maybe I would suggest some ways in which cultural tourism can contribute to increasing the number of visitors to this site. For example, we can highlight the rich cultural heritage in Egypt through targeted marketing campaigns. We need to emphasize more the historical significance, the unique stories and the architectural marvels of our archaeological areas and museums to generate interest among potential tourists. Maybe we need also to create an interactive experiences for those tourists while they are in those area, and offering them guided tours led by knowledgeable guides who can provide in-depth information about the sites, the historical and their historical context. The role of multimedia technologies like the audio guide, for example, while I was in France, the audio guides and the virtual reality tours are very important, and it enhances they enhance the visitor experience and make it more engaging.
Yes, Doctor. After the inauguration by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of the Sayyida Nafisa Mosque, and previously the inauguration by the President to Al-Hussein Mosque, usually the programs, the touristic programs, and that comes to Egypt, they visit, for example, the Mosque of Muhammad Ali in the Citadel. So can the program of the tourism companies include the visit to Al-Sayyida Nafisa Mosque or, for example, Al-Hussein Mosque?
I think that the cultural and what I have said before, that the authentic experience should include all the old mosques, such as Sayyida Nafisa, Al-Hussein, but the program of a tourist should be studied in a framework that ensure a complete cultural experience.
Yes.
So when I say cultural experience, that means that tourists have to know the history of, because for example, Sayyida Nafisa, Al-Hussein, and Muhammad Ali Mosque are built
Yes.
in different eras. and several with different reasons also. For example, Muhammad Ali wanted to create a great landmark for him on the Al-Muqattam mountain.
Yes.
So I think that this program should be studied in this framework of the cultural
to see the Islamic architecture in the mosques of Sayyida Nafisa and also Al Hussein. Also adding for the program Al Rifai Mosque or Sultan Hassan Mosque, of course.
Yes, sure. And especially thank you for this example. As we know that the Sultan Rifai Mosque was built during the Mamluk era.
Yes.
And the Rifai Mosque, 19th century, early 20th century.
Yes.
So this differences that the Sultan Hassan is a Mamluk, an original Mamluk style, and Rifai a neo-Mamluk style. So those contrasts, not contrasts, but I mean those different eras should be readable for the tourist, as we can show our history and the richness of
the architecture.
Our architecture,
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Mougib Rahman Amer, Professor of Architecture, thank you very much for joining us over the phone. With this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, The Breakfast Show. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.